When it comes to remediation, our process includes two phases. Phase one is what we call source remediation, and this is the process of removing mold-contaminated building materials and then cleaning remaining structural components. So there are a few things to note here, and I want to call those out. One, please be sure to assess the affected area once the initial demo is completed. If there's any additional staining or suspect mold growth on the building materials that's now visible as a result of the demo, then removal of those building materials should continue until you've extended 4 feet beyond either any visible water or mold growth. Keep in mind this can include adjacent areas to the original scope of remediation. Also, if exterior walls are impacted, they must be removed from floor to ceiling and then 4 feet beyond water or contamination as well. And lastly, all exposed insulation must be discarded. This includes spray foam, pipe foam, bat insulation, etc. Again, our clients are very sensitive, so we prefer to be overcautious with demo and removal. When it comes time for post-remediation inspections, we will see if this hasn't been done, and we'll recommend additional removal and cleaning. Second, it's important to remember that mold grows on the surfaces and not in the air. Therefore, it's imperative that the impacted surfaces are thoroughly cleaned as outlined within our protocols. This includes HEPA vacuuming, sanding or wire brushing the impacted substrate so the mold will be removed, and then cleaning with an appropriate non-toxic cleaning solution that should be approved by the client. Third, to expand a little more on our post-remediation verification testing, in addition to collecting air samples within the containment to ensure the air has been properly cleaned, we will also be collecting multiple surface samples from all exposed framing and impacted building materials to validate that the mold was actually cleaned and removed properly. I want to be upfront about this so there's no surprises later. This means that if the surfaces are not adequately cleaned and the mold is not removed, then we will be forced to fail the remediation and require additional cleaning. Finally, no encapsulates should be used as part of this remediation. Encapsulates don't clean, they simply hide the problem, so this is not an acceptable practice for our clients. Fourth, and just to add one final note to this, we perform a very thorough visual inspection of all remediated areas prior to collecting any samples. We look at every piece of exposed framing and remediated building materials, and we even investigate beyond the remediated areas to ensure there's no additional staining or suspect mold growth that should be removed. Therefore, we highly recommend that your project manager reviews all remediation work prior to informing the client that remediation is complete and ready for post-inspection testing. If you see any dark staining anywhere, we'll see it too, and we'll sample it. So be sure that everything is as clean as possible before informing the client that areas are ready for post-inspection. Shifting into the overall cleaning of the containment, mold, biotoxins, and other fragments harbor within dust and construction debris. Therefore, only cleaning the impacted surfaces is not enough. In addition, all dirt and debris from within the entire containment must be removed. This means that when we come to perform the post-remediation inspection, there should be no drywall particles, no construction debris, and really no dust present anywhere within the containment. This includes gaps between framing pieces as well. We should be able to run a glove over the surfaces and not see anything on our fingers afterwards. Additionally, as part of this process, all exposed drywall edges should be covered with tape, and all cavities that were exposed should be sealed off with plastic. The final video in this series shows some examples of this. And lastly, this phase of remediation does not include any fogging. One reason for this is that fogging at this stage can agitate the mold colonies and result in their creating mycotoxins in an effort to protect themselves. Mycotoxins are toxic chemicals meant to kill living things, so you can see why we obviously don't want this to happen. I know there are many fogging products out there that claim to kill mold, and as a result, some remediation companies use them in lieu of proper cleaning. If your process relies heavily on fogging and you're not comfortable with the amount of cleaning detail that I have just outlined, then this project may not be the best fit for you. Again, please be sure to read our protocols thoroughly. I haven't touched on every single element in this video, but rather just some of the common oversights. So if you have any questions, we're always available to help. Thanks.